everybody, it's Brittany at Bobcat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. I wanted to bring you guys another home tour, and today we're actually going to go out and check out our rehab area. We rehab and release native Florida bobcats anytime they're orphaned or injured, and we get called in. We have a whole facility here, and it's in a remote part of the sanctuary. We're on 67 acres, and this is in a very remote area. There's a rabbit right there. So right now we don't have any rehab bobcats in the facility, so I can bring you guys out here and just show you around. We've got this brand new fencing up to make sure that if anyone's coming out here when there are rehab bobcats here, that they're getting very little exposure to seeing or hearing humans. This white tube out here on the outside of the fence. Once the cats have graduated to whole prey and we're assessing their hunting skills, that's actually where we place the rats, and so then we can remotely watch them on camera. So again, very limited exposure to people. So the way rehab works, we've got actually 4 runs. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get babies or orphans or injured cats in, they start out in this very small section. So depending on what their needs are, and we'll graduate them from there. So again, there's nobody out here right now. There's where a water box would be. There's a coolaroo bed. There's always some toys. There's a nice hard den. Then there's another section over here. So if we ever need to clean that water bowl, we can shift the cat away from us. This is where another part of the white tunnel. This is like you saw on the outside, where the rats can be placed in several different areas, and they can work their way out into the enclosures based on where we want them to go. Show you a better view of that. So whole prey would go in here, and they're just placed down the tube, and the tube runs the entire length, and then there's multiple other tubes down here as well. So again, depending on what section we have the cat in or that we need to see the cat is based on where we would place the food. That's where the white tube on the other side of the fence. So if we get to the point where we absolutely do not want or need this cat to see us, then we can feed completely unnoticed. We also wear ghillie suits, which is basically like a camouflage suit. We never speak around the cats. We don't make eye contact with them. So I'm going to take you in each section. And similar to our permanent resident enclosures, each section has guillotine doors. So you can see there's like a hose here. The water boxes are on the outside and slightly elevated up off of the ground. We do that in order to make sure that the cats don't urinate in it. Cats are notorious for peeing in water so that predators can't track them. And because of that, we want them to have fresh water, so we do lift it slightly off. So our most recent cat, Romeo, was actually just released a couple weeks ago, and we don't have any bobcats out here right now, but you can see we have platforms and shelves to help them learn to perch up high. So this is one of the medium sections. Of course, it's June in Florida, so it's raining like crazy. So we would mow most of this down, but we try to keep it as a natural environment as possible so the cats have hiding places. So another shelf, some more things that they can walk around on, platforms and stuff. There's natural foliage growing in here as well. So this is the second medium system. So once the cats are big enough and strong enough and we feel that they are ready to graduate from kindergarten, the very small section there, we can lift that door. Then they have access to these two medium sections. And you'll notice that each door system I've gone in has had two sets of doors. So if a cat was in here, we would have both of these doors completely closed and locked, plus another one out here. So if we're ever entering cages, there's always a two-door system. So this outer door has to be closed and locked before you would ever open the interior door. And then when we're really ready to test their abilities, they graduate to the biggest section. And you can see just how tall that is. Show you that perspective. And you can kind of see that it stair steps down from there. And then the roof line for the smallest section. So again, we don't want babies climbing 50 feet in the air until they've learned and honed their skills. So we would graduate them to the largest section here. And you can see again that this tubing, now the interesting way that the tubing works is we have these little doors here, so we can actually push that completely down if we needed to close off this section. That way the whole prey wouldn't end up down here. We wouldn't want rats running around in a section where the cat isn't. So you can see lots of trees, more shelves, more water dishes. And we'll just take a walk all the way around this section. So this is the inside of the largest section for run number 1 out of 4. This is generally the one most of the bobcats are in. And the reason, especially if they need a lot of medical attention, is because we have Explore cameras. So you can see that camera up there. And that camera can be accessed at bigcatcams.com. And you can find the rehab camera, the intensive care camera, the long run. There might be some nest cams listed on there as well. We have cameras all over these cages so that we can constantly watch, make sure that the cats are learning the right skills that they're gonna need before going back out into the wild. You can see we actually have a couple other runs. Whoop, I don't think it's gonna focus, right out there. So we have the ability to house many bobcats all at the same time. They're actually even large enough for Florida panthers if that need was ever necessary. And we'll walk back down the other side here so you can see lots of hiding places. So the way the rehab program works is once they come in, there's a select few keepers that are rehabbers. Again, we never come out talking to them. We try to stay as quiet and secretive as possible, and we mainly watch them on cameras, like these cameras that you see here. There's a nice big platform here. You can see that frequent repairs are needed on things like this, so we're always coming by to make sure that nothing is cracking or splintering, and we're replacing things as necessary. Another shelf, some ramps. We also have these really cool natural hanging logs. And we do that so that, they can hone their skills. So they can climb, they can get their balance. It's what they'd be doing in the wild, climbing trees. And so to the best of our ability, we make sure we give them all those opportunities. We've had cats be here for a couple weeks to over 6 months. It's whatever they need to make sure that they're 100% ready to go back to the wild. You can learn all about our Bobcat Rehab program if you go to bigcatrescue.org/bobcat-rehab. And if you want to learn anything else about our enclosures, go to bigcatrescue.org/cages.